Okay, welcome to another edition of the SOHO Cinema Club, and here we are in the SOHO Cinema with one of the largest screens in California, I think, directly in front of us. And sat with me in our plush cinema seats,
Jared the Peeper Carlson.
Sean the Deathline Sardi.
and Miles Flanagan, owner-operator of the SOHO Cinema Club and creator-founder of Hollywood Horror Fest and Boobs and Blood film festivals. So, we're going to watch another actual double bill, and by actual I mean it's not a double bill we've just made up. It's a double bill that was released in UK cinemas in the early 70s. Previously, we've looked at other films, Blood on Satan's Claw, Beast in the Cellar, and this week we're looking at The Night Hair Child,
Also known as?
What the Peeper Saw.
That's me.
And we're double billing that with Deathline,
That's
also known as Raw Meat.
Raw Meat. Yeah.
Raw Meat in the UK, yeah. And what a cast. Night Hair Child stars Mark Lester of
Please, sir, I want some more.
What?
musical Oliver fame.
And a very appropriate name.
It turns me on.
I'm sorry.
Oh, dear. Plus, the wonderful Britt Eklund. And we all know Britt Eklund, don't we? James Bond, Man with the Golden Gun.
Oh, darling, I'm tempted.
Oh, wait.
Well, she's very famous in the UK. And she was married to... There's a connection with Blood on Satan's Claw. What's the connection? The director of Blood on Satan's Claw was Piers Haggard, who also directed one of my favourite films, Fiendish Plot of
Fu Manchu.
which starred,
Hello, boy.
Peter Sellers.
who was married to...
Oh, God.
Oh, darling, I'm tempted.
That's right, Britt Eklund. Hardy Kruger as well in that, and Harry Andrews.
Who are they married to?
Who?
Who are they married to?
Who are they married to?
Yeah.
I've never seen Who Are They Married One. So, it's also double billed with Deathline, another fantastic cast, Donald Pleasance,
Honestly-
Norman Rossington, and Christopher Lee,
I am Dracula, and I welcome you to my house.
who it's got a very odd appearance.
It's a weird
Yeah.
performance in a way, but it's
Yeah.
fun.
It's fun
overall.
And a great poster. The double bill poster is kind of strange because half of it is amazing. The Deathline half is designed by the great Vic Fair, who also did the famous Man Who Fell to Earth poster.
Oh, yeah.
Also, I'm realizing the Deathline, the part of the face with the eye, it's almost like he did the alien design. He did
H.R. Giger?
Yeah, because that's like the face from like that Emerson, Lake and Palmer album.
Yeah, it is a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. It at least looks like it. Maybe he just saw it and was like, that'd be cool.
But the Night Hair Child side of the poster is just, it's like a double exposed frame with Hardy Kruger and Britt Eklund kissing and Mark Lester just dropped over the top.
It's very dull. in a
It's
way.
very dull,
But
yeah.
Let's read the taglines. For Night Hair Child, or What the Peeper Saw, normally, good little boys don't love their mother the way Marcus loves his. But Marcus isn't good, neither is he normal. What? That implies a lot.
Yes.
A lot.
Yes.
It turns me on.
And Deathline's tagline is A New Line in Terror, which is a lot more fun.
And it's about the London
train.
the London Underground.
It's about the London Underground.
It's not about. It's set in the London
Yeah.
Underground. I suppose it is a little bit.
It's about the history of the London Underground.
Yes, and about the oppression of the working classes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And this is where you play Going Underground by the Jam.
When was the London Underground first? Was it 1830s?
Yes, it was, and it was horse-drawn. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then steam-powered. Can you believe that?
Yeah. I believe.
Steam-powered underground.
Yeah.
They did have lots of holes going up to the street level.
Yeah.
Well, you'd have to, because it'd be very hot.
Well, you would die.
But, well, the smoke. Not the heat, but the smoke.
The exhaust would kill you.
Yeah. All right then. Shall we sit down and enjoy which one are we watching first? Oh, Night Hair Child, because it's the first one on the poster.
Yep.
Yes.
On the left-hand side.
For us peepers and Lesters.
It turns me on.
Roll the projector, Barry.
you're just pointing at your little...
Don't mention my little.
He stole a cat, killed it after torturing it.
It turns me on.
Horrifying.
Does he resent me?
Wait till you get to know him.
Did you love your mother?
No.
A child smiles the smile of the innocent or the damned. What the people saw will turn you on to terror.
All right, well, we've just finished watching Night Hair Child, also known as What the Peeper Saw. I don't really know what a night hair child is or what night hair refers to. I'm sure I don't know.
Bedhead? Maybe? I don't know.
Night hair child? I don't know. Anyhow, wow, what a film.
Yeah, I'd sum it up with just one word. What? Because it makes no fucking sense half the time.
Well, just the ending.
The ending, yeah, but even...
Well, it leaves it very... I mean, it's very trendy at that time. Like,
Yeah.
what is it, 71, 72?
I think
72. It's very much of its time, that open-ended sort of approach. Like, they deliberately don't want you to know really what's happening. I mean...
But it's a mystery.
But at the end, you do know that she knows he did it.
Yeah.
But does she?
Why'd you say that?
Or is it all in her head? Is she still in the...
Okay, well, hold on.
We should start from the beginning before we go further.
So,
and there's going to be...
There was like...
plot spoilers, sort of, because you'll just become... Even if you know what happens from what we're saying, you still won't know, will you?
Because okay, the thing is, it gives you some things. It tells you the story, and as it
What
goes
is
on...
the story, then?
So the story is basically this new stepmother meets her stepchild, and he is just...
Britt Eklund meets Mark Lester.
Yes, and Mark Lester is fucking weird.
He's been expelled from school. He lies. He pretends that he's left school because there's a chickenpox outbreak. But later on, she finds out through a letter that he's half destroyed.
Which he doesn't fully destroy. He doesn't even throw it away.
But she discovers by visiting the school and talking to the headmaster, played by the great Harry Andrews, that in fact he's been in lots of trouble at school.
He's been a naughty little boy.
Very naughty boy.
He is the peeper.
What? Yes.
Yeah, he's been peeping. He's been drawing nudes. He's been
killing cats. Which
Yes.
is what caused him to finally being expelled.
And everyone seems to excuse it later in the film when his stepmom confronts him. And so his dad just defends him by saying that's his way of dealing with the death of his mother, the grief. And his mother died by electrocution,
which we see in the very beginning, just full on naked, flopping in the.
So all that is pretty it's an absolute certainty. We know that she died of a heart attack due to an electric shock. Yes, which is meant to be some accidental thing to do with the dodgy plumbing and electrics.
Well, she had a problem with her heart.
Oh, right. She did have the heart condition.
Normally it wouldn't have killed her, but because of the heart condition that her husband supposedly didn't know about, but the son knew about.
But the son knew because of the letter.
The letter. Yeah.
Which...
But okay, so 90% of the film, you can pretty much follow. It's like the stepmother...
I'd say 80%.
Uncovering these things and confronting the stepson, and the stepson always admits it to her, but then he lies to everyone else, and everyone else is like, oh, you don't really know exactly what everyone else is thinking. The husband, he seems on the line, but then sometimes he's on the mother's side, sometimes on the son's side, you don't really know.
The thing that bothers me too is how the kid hides evidence, because it's oh, I'm going to give half of stuff to her, give her half answers, half truths, and just lead her on. And I get it. That's the mystery. And then he kills a dog.
What? Yeah.
Just for what? Or
to blame her, but then we don't know.
Do we know he kills a dog?
That's when the movie starts to kind of go off the rails, because they're doing that ambiguous, oh, maybe the stepmother is insane, maybe none of this is real. But the problem with this is that it's just kind of arbitrary, and it doesn't really add anything, and it's not interesting, and it just...
I mean, going back to the film itself, it's definitely... I mean, it pushes, I don't know about the envelope, it pushes a big box full of weird shit. I mean, from the very beginning, Mark Lester in the bath, naked, squirting something that seems to be a phallic
It's phallic symbolism.
rubber toy with water squirting
It's
out.
literally over his crotch. It's
over
it's
his crotch.
symbolism.
What?
Yeah, and then he reaches out and grabs
Grab her chest.
Britt Eklund's chest.
What?
Fully, while she's on the phone with his dad.
It's
Which, by the way, he never says dad.
What?
He always
never
calls him
refers
Paul.
to-
Paul.
Yeah.
That's all he says, Paul. I never heard dad, father, anything.
Or
Even
mother.
when he's talking to him. So
He always calls
And
him
what about?
Mother.
I mean, there's tons of sexuality. It's every character. There's even that other the elder female character played by Lily Palmer. You know, like
she's great.
But she's got her hands all over Britt Eklund as well.
Yeah. And there's that dinner. No, not the dinner. The party sequence.
Oh, that's the party sequence.
That's just perverted.
Okay, so there's a scene where Britt Eklund and the husband and wife and Hardy Kruger go to, I don't know, this swinging party.
Yeah.
This guy comes up to her. He's like, "Hey, you're very
A
pretty."
bearded, 80-year-old lech.
Yeah.
And then she escapes him by going into another crowded room where there's a table with food on it,
And-
fruit and grapes, until you
Grapes and-
realise.
And then there's a naked woman on it.
And it's a naked black woman.
Specifically black woman.
Black.
And all these white people are like, a guy's like shoving fruit into her mouth.
What?
That's the final scene in that room.
The final shot, yeah.
Final shot. You see him shoving in her mouth, and
She's not fighting back, really. She's just laying there.
She's pretending to be furniture for these people, and is the director trying to say something with that?
Well, actually, interesting. We looked, didn't we? And the director is James Kelly, who directed the film we talked about
Previously.
in another episode, The Beast in the Cellar.
Which also had no moral message. I'm kind of concerned.
Well, yeah, about his children.
Yeah.
Actually, wait. What is there any moral message in this?
It's actually based on a book.
This is a book.
Oh,
Yes.
God. We
So
have
it'd be
read the
interesting
book.
to read the book.
I don't want to read.
No?
No.
Maybe that's our assignment.
Fine. Next time I'll read it, and I'll just come back.
But what about? I mean, it's an early '70s film where nudity was the cheapest special effect out there, but there's lots of nudity with Britt Eklund and Mark Lester, who he wasn't 12 then. Was he?
How old was he?
I don't know. Well,
but he's still young.
You don't see
14
anything
maybe.
of him.
You don't really, aside from that
And
imagery,
And
one shot.
you don't see anything below the waist, really.
Not really. No.
Yeah, but what about she undresses in front of him? She takes all the clothes off.
But there's that
and
one.
then there's a scene where she goes into bed with him, and I don't know whose point of view that is. It's just cut.
And then
Wait, that part.
the camera
that's later
pans,
on.
and his dad is standing there.
Hold on. We'll get to that sequence because that's a whole sequence we gotta just tackle.
Are we
as
making
one.
any sense to the listeners? out
No,
there,
no,
listeners?
because there is no sense. What's the sense?
You're peeking the mic.
I'm sorry.
You need to calm down.
I'm sorry.
Reduce the volume.
Calm
I'm sorry. Okay.
down. Hold my hand.
All right, let me repeat that. Does this make any sense to the listeners?
I don't think it makes sense to anybody. We watched it, and it makes no sense. The whole film, it's like it goes through, and you're sort of following it, and then it's the scene where she's talking to
The psychiatrist.
And then when she says, "Did you strip naked in front of the boy?" and it's like,
What?
oh, and then the white lights hit her, and then we're just in this cut, just cut.
From her visit in the psychiatrist. This is after all the revelations, and she knows that Mark Lester, in her mind, has murdered his mother, and so she's seen a psychiatrist, and so is Mark Lester. But when she's told, "Did you take your clothes off?" by the psychiatrist, then that leads to a whole sequence where she's obviously getting psychiatric help. She's in some hospital, isn't she?
Yeah.
And then
we just cut from
the pat to
like
the past?
her dreams.
Yeah, we don't
Or reality?
really know, because we also see her trying to kill the kid with a pillow, and then the dad comes in. That seemed like very realistic.
That seemed.
It's that's why you would be committed to a psychiatric hospital.
Yes.
And then there's the dream sequence where she drowns him in the pool, and the dad's smoking a cigarette, not caring.
But then when she comes out of the psychiatric hospital, it's all smiles. Like nobody's like. There's no. I don't know.
Straight away, it's almost like not. It feels like she's not coming out of the psychiatric hospital, but she's just coming back from a business trip abroad. You know, and he's got flowers and
that whole sequence. It just unravels, but it doesn't tell you anything. It's just taking what you have and just fucking it up.
If you take it at face value, basically what they did all that to confuse you, and then at the end, basically she's in love with the son, and this was all part of her and the son's plan.
Like, okay, they're now together, which I didn't get. Why the hell is she suddenly...
It's not explained or shown
suddenly,
why it flips, or if this was all part of the plan, if she was acting before.
But I don't buy the acting bit. It certainly wasn't on camera.
No.
I never saw that on film.
Yeah.
Like,
they do talk about getting rid of the father, don't they?
Yes, at the very end.
Just at the very end, never throughout.
But then... When big spoiler, when Mark Lester, the dog runs...
Yeah, she throws the ball so that the dog runs across the road. The kid sees it, goes after the dog, gets hit by a car and dies.
And that's
so
the end.
it's like, what? So she wasn't in love with him and this wasn't part of his plan? What is happening?
One thing I want to mention too. The music was pretty good, but it was so spare. Like, it would just mostly be nothing, and then we'd cut, and it's like, oh, we're finally listening to some music again.
There were some interesting things, like, you remember the sequence that had no dialogue? They just muted the dialogue, and it was over the meal.
Oh, yeah,
that was cool.
That was good.
To show the disintegration of their relationship over a short period of time, like having the meal and arguing.
That was probably the best part of the film.
I did think Britt Eklund was pretty good in it. I mean, it was her film. She was the one carrying it. Mark Lester was never really given much to do at all, to be honest.
Not really.
And even though he's meant to be this creepy person, he wasn't the one suggesting the creepiness. It would just be, we knew he'd done something.
Yeah.
He'd say it. And that alone, being a child doing those things, or we imagine he did these things, would make it creepy. But, you know.
It is weird.
It's one of those. I mean, it's a continuation of the evil children films.
Yeah.
But it's not even that good of an evil child film.
That's what I mean. I don't think Mark Lester's really given much in the script to work with.
I think like he gives what he has there. He delivers a pretty decent to okay performance.
Yeah. So what's strange is like Mark Lester, 1968 was Oliver, innocent Oliver, and then this was 4 years later.
4 years later, he does this.
And he'd also done, I mean, he was still doing those sort of happy family films like Black Beauty, I think was 1971. So this is a year after that.
So already at this young age, he's like, I'm going to try something different.
It turns me on.
Try something different, yeah. So, do we recommend it?
No, I don't.
I'd recommend it purely on a 70s, like if you're on a 70s weird kick.
Yeah.
Don't expect much. Expect to be confused.
Yeah, just to be like, oh, wow.
I'd say just pop it in and watch it with a couple friends.
Or not.
Or actually, probably don't. Watch this alone with nobody ever knowing that you watched it.
All right, so we're now going to go on to our second of the double bill. We'll swiftly move on to the film Deathline with Donald Pleasance and a very brief, so almost cameo from Christopher Lee.
I am Dracula, and I welcome you to my house.
Yeah.
Roll the projector, Barry.
There has never been a more savage motion picture than Raw Meat. Beneath modern London, buried alive in plague-ridden tunnels, lives a tribe of once humans.
I think we were lucky.
Why?
Whatever he saw was probably watching us.
Well, how could they survive without food?
Because I should imagine that as each one died, the others ate him.
So we've just finished watching Deathline, the second of our double bill from 1972. And wow, what a good film. Amazing film.
I think it's just brilliant through and through. How it, like, I guess before we should talk about that, we should talk about the plot.
In 1892, a terrible accident occurs during construction on the London Underground, trapping several people below. And then they just leave them there, and then they eat people.
Yeah, and survive until there's one last couple.
A couple.
With
the girl who's pregnant.
She's pregnant, yeah. What the last two? She's pregnant.
For 80 years.
There's two left, a girl and a man.
And
she's pregnant. Yeah, and then she dies, and then he goes crazy because he's got, what's he got? The plague and...
Grief. It's just grief with him. He's just sad.
It's just sad.
Like the whole beginning part, he's trying to help her, and before that, in the movie when it starts, we meet this. What is he?
Well, let's tell the listeners how he helps his wife, his dying wife.
So he kidnaps this Obi.
Yeah.
Order of the British.
And he's important.
And he likes
prostitutes and porn.
Yeah.
Yeah, we see him at the... I do like the opening titles because it's... there's a great theme tune by... I forgot his name now. But it's a real crazy, like, jazz, funk...
Acid jazz.
I don't know, it's just really crazy. But it works really well with the opening, with the opening titles, which show this guy going around seedy Soho in and out of the strip clubs.
It'll like...
racks in and out of focus.
Yeah, racks in and out of focus. And then, like, he ends up in the subway. He tries to give this prostitute money. And she just kicks him in the dick.
Yeah, he doesn't want to pay her up front, and so she kicks him in the dick.
And she takes the money, rightfully so.
Yes.
Yeah.
Rightfully so.
And then he ends up
And then the protagonist finds him unconscious on some stairs, and then when they go back down with the police, he's gone.
Ooh. The woman,
is obviously in an unhappy, unhealthy relationship.
And he's a dick, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's such a dick.
Just a prick to everyone.
He's just a piece of shit.
You don't want to help the guy who's just lying on the stairway.
Doesn't want to go to the police.
Like, she has to beg him to be like, come on, he might be diabetic.
Yeah.
He could be dying.
He assaults that subway worker when he's like asking.
Oh, that's later. That's later.
But I'm just it shows his character.
Yeah, listing all the bad things.
He's just a prick to people. Anytime someone asks him a question, he has this smarmy attitude about it.
Much like Donald Pleasance, who is a delight.
Are you threatening me?
The difference is, though, it's Donald Pleasance, and he just gives it with this reverence of like, oh, I'm having fun
with
here.
a little wink.
Get your hair cut.
Yeah, wink, wink.
I'm just charmed. I love
and
Donald Pleasance.
the guy from A Hard Day's Night who was
Norman Rossington.
Norman Rossington, which is funny.
Yeah, he was one of the backbones of the British film industry as a character actor. I actually pitched. Well, I was about to pitch when I was living in the UK, and I was sort of pitching shows, and almost got shows off the ground. There was one show I really wanted to do, which was called Supporting Features, and it was about people like Norman Rossington. He was one of them. So we were going to do a documentary series about people that you knew their faces. They were in everything.
Yeah.
Like Michael Ripper for the Hammer Things. But yeah, Norman Rossington was great. He was in lots and lots of things.
It's funny we have Norman Rossington and Donald Pleasance in the same film, and in another way they appear similarly in the Beatles universe. One actually with the Beatles, Norman Rossington in A Hard Day's Night, and Donald Pleasance in the schlocktacular Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, singing "I Want You, She's So Heavy."
It's driving me mad.
More talk singing, but. Anyway, it's a delight. But back to Deathline, it's got brilliant set design. The lighting is just amazing.
The corpses look great.
The lighting is great because at many films from that period, as soon as we're in a cave or something like that, it was just brightly lit, wasn't it? When you see a film like Trog.
Trog, stop it!
That I do love. It's atrocious. Poor Trog with his dollies. I love it. But when, they go potholing at the beginning. And they find this subterranean dwelling of Trog's dwelling. It's so brightly lit.
Yeah.
But this one looked great, and it was...
And they actually showed him, like, getting oil and stuff for his lantern.
Yeah.
It explains why there's light sources.
They explain pretty much their life in a way, don't they? And they show even how these people have died over the years, generations.
And how they managed to survive, too.
Yeah, and what they do, like when they lay them down in one room and they'll put a little trinket on their chest.
Whatever they have, either on their body or someone else has, they will put on top.
Okay, so how about the first time we actually see this subterranean dwelling, that shot, that amazing shot.
It's Pan.
Yeah, and we should say the director, Gary Sherman, what a great film. I think, was this his first film? But an amazing film. But that first shot, basically we're just doing a 360.
Yeah, it is a 360 and then it comes out through that little peephole.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
when you think about
amazing.
It.
Yeah,
I mean, people used to go on about The Passenger, which was this was 72.
Yeah.
Passenger 75, Antonioni, and the famous shot at the end that goes through the bars. I don't know if you've seen it, but this was pretty close.
Yeah,
because we were starting off an extreme close up of water dripping onto the ground and close ups of rats, to a full 360 of this room where the poor sod, the cannibal guy was living with his dying wife, pregnant wife. And then we realise it's all being seen through the room next door, through a little hole in the door. They must have, had to move the set around, and there's always something to see.
Yeah, something new,
either something
face.
Yeah,
like a baby skull, or
and the makeup effect and the dead. The dead cadaver, no, the live cadavers, no, the cadavers in it, they're so brutally honest in terms of the way they look. They look gross, they look realistic.
Hell, the morgue scene is very
and for
shocking.
1972, seeing that kind of gory corpse, that's the eyes are coming out, there's holes in heads, they're rotten. You don't see that until Italian Lucio Fulci stuff.
Yeah, I think the sequence I like. It's not really gory, but it's the scene in the morgue where you see them cleaning where the body was and all the blood's washing away.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't see that like in many morgue shots in film or anywhere really. It's sort of unique in a way.
Yeah, I think the whole film's unique. It's very, and in fact, if we go back to a double bill, Night-Haired Child and Deathline, that's a pretty wild. I mean, Night-Haired Child is nowhere near as good as Deathline. But as a double bill of interesting films, they're very unique.
Yeah.
Even if Night-Haired Child fails.
Yeah.
And Deathline succeeds.
It gives you two different feels of filmmaking at the time. One being a Spanish production and another British production, but yet they don't.
No, they were both British.
Oh, they were?
Yeah, you ignorant slut.
Yeah.
Okay, well.
It's just filmed in Spain.
Right.
How embarrassing.
Shut up.
Everyone's going to hear this.
Fuck you.
Yeah, I'm not cutting this out.
You should.
No way.
You should cut all this.
Yeah.
Burn it all. Anyway. No.
$20, I'll cut it out. Now. You've got 10 seconds. I can't. And I know you got the money because I gave you it earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I gave you the money because you bought the pizza. And
I got it for him.
Okay,
he should give you the $20.
9, 8, 7, 6. Okay, he's giving up.
All right, it stays in.
Yeah.
All right, whatever.
Send it to your mom, make her ashamed.
Yeah. Okay, do you think at the very end, do you think they just added in the voice? Supposedly the main cannibal, he's dead.
Yeah.
The guy. He is dead, isn't it? And we just hear that voice at the end. It's just an echo of what we've seen. He's not really alive.
Yeah. And if he is, it doesn't matter because there's like 10 police officers right there.
Unless you got them all. And we're ready for a sequel.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Mind the door.
He gave them all plague and they went insane, and now there's a bunch of murderous.
So they say mind the gap. They always have done. Ever since I've lived in London. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. I haven't seen it in years. I mean, first time I saw it was when I was living in London. It was around about college time. In the US, it was renamed Raw Meat, which is a terrible terrible name for it. And I've got the lobby cards for it, which is got the artwork from the poster. And the poster artwork, if you look at it, it's just crazy. It has all these semi-naked, like, zombie creatures.
So he looks like Karl Marx in the poster.
So, okay, let's talk about Christopher Lee's appearance. I think they just needed him. I think the investors or the film company were just like, we have to have Christopher Lee in, and to get him on the poster.
Shot so weird. Where
it is weird.
They're staring down the barrel, but both him and Donald Pleasance and what's his name?
Russington,
Yeah, they're never in the same shot until Donald Pleasance and Russington are leaving the room.
I know. And when you watch it, I remember the first time I watched it, I thought, he's not even in the same shot.
Yeah.
He just turned up. So it's bizarre that at the end...
Yeah,
you go, oh, they are actually in the same room.
I think it helps because the whole thing is bizarre, because he just appears.
So what do you think of Donald Pleasance's performance?
I love him.
It's one of his best. I think it's up there, because it's so different from a lot of his stuff, but also it's like, it still has tints of like Halloween and...
He's obviously having hell of a lot of fun.
Oh, he's having a blast!
You still here, sir?
Have you ever had Pastoria pelvis?
Who?
Septicemic bloody plague. Come on, let's get a couple of pints of beer.
Anytime he gets the tea and it's the tea bag, he always tosses it.
Or with a dart, he takes a
dart,
stabs it, flings it in the trash.
Yeah. What about the other guys, the younger couple, David Ladd and Sharon Gurney? How do you think they
David Ladd, man.
I mean, he's good.
Oh, he's good.
He's good,
because we all hate him.
Yeah.
He's an ass.
Their actors are great, but as a character, it's like, really?
Why?
This guy?
He's so angry at everyone. He's a psychopath.
I think I kind of, I know it irritates me, but I'm just thinking why, and I think it's just let's make it different. Let's not have a likable nominal hero.
Yeah.
I think it's deliberate. Well, obviously it's deliberate. And I think it's well cast. I don't like him. Sharon Gurney, I think she's good with what she's got.
Yeah.
I think she's very good with what she's got. It's very believable at the end. You know, when the cannibal, the man, he's trying to kiss her, but it's so pitiful, isn't it? It's just sad.
The thing with the cannibal, I want to talk about the cannibal real quick.
Yeah.
The thing about him is he's very just depressing. His life is hell from beginning to end. He's lived in this cave,
you could say,
essentially, for life.
He's lived in a cannibal holocaust.
You proud of that? Okay, he's proud of that. He's not, I guess. Anyway.
I'll add a laugh track.
Anyway, but he's just very pitiful. At first, it's like horrifying because you think he's just this monster, which he is. But at the same time, when
he don't know no better.
No, when he's like holding his wife or girlfriend, it's just depressing because he's trying to make it work and he can't. And when she dies, he holds her and then he takes her to the place, and it's just.
What was his name? The actor. Could we remember? I do remember looking at the credits, but I forgot.
He did a fantastic job.
He did a great job.
He did a wonderful job.
Yeah, it's so good you almost forget about it because
Yeah.
you just believe in him.
Yeah.
And the makeup on his head.
Yeah.
And all these bulbous sores,
Yeah.
and they're weeping, aren't they?
Yeah.
We didn't look at who did the makeup, did we, on the credits or anything?
The part that's really cool too is when that one of the final shots of him when he has the blood dripping out of his ear.
Oh yeah,
that's just a brilliant effect.
So the makeup was designed by Harry Frampton, and the makeup artist was Peter Frampton.
Are you saying Peter Frampton?
Yeah.
So there's a link to Sgt. Pepper again.
Oh my God, there is.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Oh my God! But he did the makeup for Straw Dogs and Frenzy.
Hugh Armstrong was the name of the guy who played the. What did he do then? Hugh Armstrong. What else has he done?
The Beastmaster.
He was in Beastmaster?
As a John.
UFO. So he was also in. Oh, he was in Gurley, Coronation Street, Prudence and the Pill. Okay. So look, the credits are Key.
Yeah, Friend
in number 5. So Shadow Mobile 3 Officer. He's a background guy, isn't he?
Yeah.
English soldier in Eagle in a Cage. He was in a short. The Beastmaster. Wow. Sometimes I get.
How to Get Ahead in Advertising. He
was Henry Wax. Minder, who's a station officer. So I guess he never really did much.
Nothing.
But he's
really.
very good.
Yeah.
No, he was
very good.
He was amazing.
Yeah. Does this ever get screened? Was it on at the New Beverly?
I don't.
Romy? I think it was. It was on somewhere
recently.
Like a year or so ago.
As far as I know, no.
Oh, LF3.
It could have been American Cinematheque or something.
All right. So to wrap up.
Oh yeah, if this were, the 70s and I was seeing this double feature, I would have been probably sitting in the lobby during the first film. I would have given up on it.
Oh, you would?
I think I would have at some point. Just
okay.
Whatever.
No, I would have stayed because it was fun. It was just that ending. I don't know.
It was just the whole thing for me.
Plus, I already paid for it, so it's
and you'd be waiting for the next film.
Oh, that's
for
fair.
Deathline.
That's fair. I guess I'd probably sleep.
And the thing is, watching it this time, it's a puzzle, isn't it? It's got that giallo feel to it. I want to know, but it doesn't satisfy. I don't even think the film doesn't know. That's the problem.
But Deathline, I definitely give 2 severed thumbs up.
Oh, Deathline, yeah.
Yeah, 2 severed thumbs up. I would give a severed nose, Sean's.
Why mine?
Yeah,
it's very shapely.
It's pretty. And Deathline. It's always been a favourite of mine. Always freaked me out. I love it. I love it to death. Line.
I think more people should definitely see Deathline. I think of the two, see Deathline definitely.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so that's a great. I think pretty much it as a double bill. For me, I still think it's a good double bill.
Yeah,
it has tinges of like we were talking about all throughout this episode, giallo.
Yeah,
we're essentially watching British giallos.
Yeah,
but I think Deathline hits it way better.
Okay, I will say Night-Haired Child, what the people saw, I mean, yeah, it fails, but what I can commend is that it's trying something different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's trying something different, however disturbing it is, and both films are disturbing on different levels. So I think as a double bill, they're suited together. It's not like we've got Carry On Up the Jungle with Deathline.
Or there is another double that I think would have been way weirder. It would be The Odd Couple and Rosemary's Baby.
Yeah.
I can't imagine going to see, this funny comedy about these two guys having to live together, and then seeing the horrible trauma of trying to give birth in New York.
Just trying to give birth in New York, nothing to do with Satanism.
No. I mean, that too, but...
Yeah. All right, then. So on that note, we'll say goodbye from me, Miles Flanagan.
From me, Jared, still peeping Carlson.
And for me, Sean, I'm gonna eat you, Sardi.
All right, and until we meet again, have a good life, enjoy movies, and we'll see you at the Soho.
Why do you guys keep bringing up Jello?